No.
But why? Promises have been made to you. So why have your monies not been paid to you?
No, the government has not come out. The Minister of Finance hasn't come out to make any provision whatsoever which will allow Bank of Ghana to first revoke the licenses of these institutions before proceeding to pay us.
Your membership, the people you...
Confusion
Right.
In what is happening now. What the release that the government has said, they has ordered the Minister of Finance to release, is for people whose monies government promised to pay last 5 years. Let's get that. Last 5 years, 2019. You know, the banking sector cleanup started 2017-18.
Right.
Some banks were, licenses were revoked and put together as one bank. So everybody's money was still with the bank. Then some finance houses, microfinance and savings and loans companies got their licenses revoked. Earlier on, government paid 50,000 for everyone and decided to give everybody some 5-year zero coupon bonds. You're going to hold your bonds, your money for 5 years without interest, and then you get half, one fifth for the 5 years. Then people criticized that. There were public outcry. Then government finally paid everybody. So that was for the banks and non-bank financial institutions. Then 2019, Securities and Exchange Commission also revoked the licenses of about 34, we call them fund management companies. Those who have been licensed to manage your funds. You get your money, you go and give them, then they will decide where to put your money to give you proper returns on your investment. We call them fund management companies. 34 of them got their license revoked. Then government paid everyone 50,000 and said the rest, like they gave the other people 5-year bond, this time they were giving them 5-year mutual fund. They were putting it in a mutual fund. The mutual fund is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So they put the money under GCP Capital and told people that you can go for your money every year. You can go for part of the money, or they will pay you part of the money. Then Dr. Indume's company, which was Black Shield, formerly Google Securities, Google's fund management, they got they say that Dr. Indume has gone to court. So because of the court action, they were not going to pay them. But later on, government say out of compassionate grounds, they were paying them also the same 50-50. So they paid them 50,000. So from 2019, these 34 finance fund management companies, their clients' funds has been held up after the 50,000 payment. Nobody has received a peso since 2019. That is what the government calls the legacy issues. This is what the government provided for in this year's budget to settle those things, those monies, which has led the Black Shield, Dr. Indume's group, its companies, the clients. And they are in the majority. In fact, they are almost, all the people are almost Black Shield clients. You know, his company was all over the country, everywhere. They have their branches. So they are in their tens of thousands. Those companies, those investors, since 2019, plus the other 33, which were smaller companies. So their investor base is not that big. All of them, government promised to pay since 5 years ago, 2019. That is what government is working on now to pay.
So for those of you who are old now, your monies have not been spoken about.
They haven't even said anything about what they are going to do to revoke the licenses of these new ones that has become insolvent. These are the old ones who became insolvent in 1919, that they revoked the license. They still have not paid. So for us now, those who have become insolvent now, Bank of Ghana has said clearly that government has not made any provision down to pay us. That is why it is not revoking the license. For this group, government has made provision. You recall that they went on demonstration to say government provided something in the budget some time ago, about 3 years ago.
Right.
But they didn't give the money.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why they reported to Parliament that where is the money? But you see, if you understand budgets and government physical, public finance,
disbursements and all of that.
When the government provides something in the budget, it doesn't mean he has paid. It is only when the government gets funds that you pay. So it can be in the budget, but if it doesn't get the funds, it will not be paid. So this year, too, government budgeted for it. And hopefully, government now says he can get the money to pay. So it is the old legacy thing, which is 5 years running. Not what we are complaining about. Government hasn't made any provision at all. And so we are impressing on government to go to the Parliament for this mid-year review of this year's budget. And if government is serious about ending or cleaning this market, the financial, then government should go now to the send a proposal, make a provision in the mid-year review to cover the 4 institutions that we are talking about now, which are running but insolvent. Then we know budgetary provision has been made correct before we can rest assured that we shall be paid because it has now gone through the budget.
Are you hitting the streets again?
Yes, we are. Tomorrow we are picketing.
How does it feel that you senior citizens, I mean, you have been at SEC, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor. I saw the former Chief Justice with you, other senior citizens who have paid your dues to the country. And this is what you have to be put through for your own money. How does it feel?
Yeah, you see, it's just like what you said, the pensioners. When I led the pensioners, even though that was purely pensioners, so they went through that. This time around, we have some other people who are not pensioners in the forum because this is not government bonds. This is individual companies that government, through the Bank of Ghana, license and advise us to take our money there for investment. And we have done it. But the issue is that this country, people do not start saving early. In fact, make investment early. I've always been telling people that they say life starts at 40. But if I call people at the age of 45, I call 100 and I ask, how many of you have gotten some investment somewhere? I may not even get 5. Nobody has that investment.
Wow. People
in this country start investing when they are getting to their old age.
Oh.
When they begin to think that, hey, my years are flying. So now if I get money, I don't have to go and use it to buy watch, 10,000 watch. I don't have to use it to buy 20,000 television. That is why they start talking about investment. People even in this country, there are some people, their first time of investing is when they have gone on pension and they have received their lump sum payment. When they receive the lump sum payment, then they say, hey, this lump sum, somebody will say, go and buy charge. They say, I don't want any trouble. Man, go and do this. So then let me go and put it in some investment. So many people who are investing are in the ages of retirement ages and close to retirement.
Right.
Many. So if you tackle the problem there's any problem comes around that side, investment, then you are sure that majority of the people that will be affected are the elderly ones. From 55 upwards to 80, 90. That is why you see that it's like almost always it is the elderly ones, because the young ones are not saving. They don't save early enough.
3FM,
you know, that is the culture in this country. That's why some of us, when we were working in the SEC, we were involved in investor education, going to the secondary schools, going to churches and preaching to the young ones that start investment early. We're having catch up with that culture. People wait. When we ask them, they say, oh, it's difficult until I have finished taking my children through school. I've finished this thing. I cannot get money, which is also true. I cannot get money to invest. So they are not getting the money to invest until they have reached ages of 50, 55, 60. That is where they
But Doc, when you go and invest and then you are promised that there will be no haircuts and then the haircuts come anyway, how do you trust the system?
We are talking about a time when there was no issue of haircut. This haircut thing or whatever that people are coming has now come to destroy even the little progress we're making towards getting people, encouraging people to invest. But when there was no issue in this country about our investment, what I'm saying is that there were no issues, but people were still not investing, not because they didn't like investing, but when you are young, sometimes you go and when you see the young people buying TV, 25,000, then you ask them, why are you doing this? Meanwhile, that 25,000, if you say he is investing it today, by the time he goes on retirement, he will be a millionaire. But we don't. Because the lives, what is pleasurable now is what the young ones use their money for. So it has been the system that all investment holders in this financial institution, majority, almost all of them are the elderly ones. And that's why you see when problems come, then they are the ones that are affected. They don't have because they do that. And everybody will do that. That's what I can assure you. When you are getting older, you will start thinking about your old age and start putting something down. Nature will force you to plan. Because you can see that danger is looming ahead. So all of you will get there and you start investing. And the challenge is that after you have invested and somebody go and touch or do something about that investment when you are now grown, then the problem is that you cannot take care of yourself.
Doc,
that is the challenge.
I thank you very much indeed for spending your money with us. We're grateful.
Yeah, thank you.
Dr. Adu-Anane has been our guest here. And Helen, Doc raises a key question about investments.
A very, very, very key. It's got even me, my mind ticket. And he says we don't start investing early. Right?
By the time we start, it will be too late.
It's too late. So he talks about that being the culture already. That if he said, he made some analogy that if he picks a room full of 45-year-olds, he might not even get 5 of them who have some solid investments going for themselves. So now we're at a place where, okay, maybe we are more clued up, we are more advanced. So now we want to get into investments early. But now that our appetite has been whet for investments, we're seeing haircuts. So although Doc says that at the time when they have been observing the landscape, haircuts were not a thing. Now, to make matters even worse, we now have the possibility of haircuts. Already, as a culture that doesn't invest early or invest at all, now we're hit with the uncertainty. I think a lot less people are going to be inclined to invest. And in fact, where are you even getting the money to invest? That's the question. Because it says a lot of parents will say, I want to put my kids through school first before I even think about any extra funds to put away. So that is it's a big consideration. When this whole haircut situation started, the financial expert says that it's not a good look, because what signal does it send that, Charlie, even if you invest this money, even with government, you could be putting yourself in a very precarious situation. That doesn't bode well for us.
Well, that's what we have listened to the late John Kuma.
We are expecting to bring down government's obligation on our debt, borrowing, and interest payments. And we strongly believe that the domestic investors in Ghana, as we have it today, His Excellency the President has already announced that there is not going to be any haircut on their principal, which we have stated. Of course, there will be external engagement that will do haircut for our bond holders. But the domestic one, we are not going to do haircut or touch their principal.
I intend to continue these engagements with other groups. I also want to assure all Ghanaians that no individual or institutional investor, including pension funds, in government treasury bills or instruments, will lose their money as a result of our ongoing IMF negotiations. There will be no haircuts. So I urge all of you to ignore the false rumors. Just as in the banking sector cleanup, government ensured that the 4.6 million depositors affected by the exercise did not lose their deposits.
In Tronkwa. Oh?
Government says some funds are being released by October.
There will be no haircuts. Let's do with that first. Was there?
There were haircuts.
There were haircuts. The president lied?
He said there would be no haircuts, but there were haircuts. What do you call that?
The lie. He doesn't have hair himself.